Well, good morning and hello.
No, Batgirl.
Great damn penguin.
Thanks, Gary. Well, hello and welcome to another episode from Extremicon with the Mid-Moon Nerd Show. I'm Andrew with Movie Reviews by Andrew.
I'm Batman.
I'm Penguin from Batman's Road.
But I'm also the man from the Mandalorian.
And I'm the Bronze Age Batgirl.
And what is your name for the listeners?
My name is Karen Whitfield.
Thank you.
And Penguin is Gary from Extremicon, but he's playing Oswald Cobblepot today. So again, we'd like to thank you for listening in, all 7 of our listeners, and those of you in Extremicon, we greatly appreciate you and your time being here.
Especially you, Eddie.
That's right, especially you, Eddie.
It's all about you, Eddie.
We love you, Eddie.
Thank you, random citizen.
That's right. But today, she already introduced herself. We are talking to a true pop culture legend today. Someone who has wore the cape and boots of an icon character. So from 1978 to 1984, she toured the country as Batgirl, joining Adam West's Batman and Burt Ward's Robin to bring the Cape Crusaders directly to the fans. Known as DC Comics' Bronze Age Batgirl, she has helped keep the spirit of Batman 66 alive while inspiring countless kids, especially young girls, who got to meet a real-life superhero. And it is our honor to introduce and to welcome to our show today Ms. Karen Whitfield, the Bronze Age Batgirl.
This is one and only on the script there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I added things. I embellished.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming in to see us, and it's good to be here, and thanks for inviting me to your show, Gary, and it's been wonderful and nice meeting you, men. Thank you.
And we're done. Good day.
Don't listen to him. He's lost his mind. So, sure, everybody's curious. You know, how did you get involved with DC and get involved with being Batgirl?
Well, honestly, I think it first took from 1966 when I watched the show myself when I was 9 years old. We didn't have a show like that on TV, and it first came out. I was really excited. The kids in my family were really excited to watch it. And then 1 year later, Yvonne Craig was introduced on the show, and I felt taller and stronger and braver. And then I think I probably wished it to the universe or whatever. Then 10 years after that, I was working at the Hertz Rental Car Agency in Raleigh-Durham Airport, and Burt Ward walked in. He was doing a personal appearance in Durham, North Carolina, and I met him, and we became fast friends. 3 months later, I was 20 years old. I moved to Los Angeles, and I started touring with him in January of 1978. I met Adam West in March of 78, and then I became the Bronze Age Batgirl in June of 1978 after touring with them a few months, just to see how it all works, and just to be trained, to be with Batman and Robin. So, and it lasted 7 years.
So you actually trained with Batman?
I actually trained with the Batman.
It's also really funny. I worked at Hertz for over a decade.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
I did for probably about a year and a half before I met him.
Interesting company.
Yeah, it is.
So, has Batgirl always been a character that you kind of connected with? I think you talked about it a little bit, but just, and what happened, or did it just happen? And you just started performing at her? So.
I think it was just meant to be. I think it was my destiny. I truly do, because the way we met, the way I was with them, and it just sort of fell into place. DC was looking for the Bronze Age Batgirl, and I met them, and I believe it was just in my destiny, and it's been like this since all those years. And then I left it, and I came back, and just to be received by the fans and people that I have been, I've just stepped right into that role pretty much immediately, and it's been wonderful.
Nice.
It's funny because, last night he was turned red the whole time. Now he's smiling.
This is Andrew Speed podcast.
That's just because I'm the organized one.
And I'm the Chaos Monkey.
Yes. And Gary tells the
You
same
sound like
stories.
Batman or Robin.
And Gary tells the same stories 5 times.
Yep.
Hey, they didn't listen the first 4 times, they got to listen to it 5th time.
That's right.
He wants to make sure you know.
That you know about his time in Japan collecting comics, especially and his Transformers collection.
See, the beautiful thing is I tune out Gary a lot, so every time he tells the same story, it's for the first time to me.
That's right. What'd you say? I don't remember. So, what was it like putting on the cowl and the boots for the first time?
Oh my, that's a great question. Because I had been traveling with them, you know, and I knew them as men too. I met Burt as a man, not Robin. I didn't know that's who he was. And then when I met Adam, he wasn't suited up like Batman, you know, so I met him as Adam West. And then the first time I suited up, and I looked at myself in the mirror like, wow, I look like Batgirl. I'm a superhero, and that's why I really love cosplayers, is because they choose a character they resonate with, and they truly feel like that, and that's why they choose it. And I think cosplaying is really great. So, but we were the original cosplayers. We're the OG because we were the only comic characters that were traveling around in the world, you know, as these characters. So it's really cool. So when I first put it on, and I remember walking out of that the room that I was in, and there's Adam and Burt waiting for me as Batman and Robin, and we all 3 stood there like, wow, this is cool, this is great. And Adam looked at me, and he was not a truly serious person. He was a funny person. He looked at me, and he was so serious, and he said, well, you know, Batgirl. He said, when you're wearing the cowl and the cape, you're a Batgirl. There's no Karen, you're a Batgirl, and that's what the fans see you, and just keep that in mind. And for him to stand there and tell me this, seriously, it brought back that 9-year-old kid when I first watched them on TV myself, and it was just so surreal. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
That's
It's
really
pretty cool.
It is really funny that Adam West was funny because Batman's kind of a serious character.
Yeah, he is a serious character, you know, and Adam, you know, that's why we call him our bright knight, because he really wasn't. But when we put on those little skits, it was really funny. I mean, you know, looking back, I would just want to laugh at times, but I really couldn't, because people thought, especially children, thought they were real. We were real, and that what we were doing was real. But looking back at it, it was really funny, kind of like the show, you know.
I kind of got add up to this. So got ready for Batman 1989 and hadn't watched it since, you know, was a little kid, and then the teenagers that came back on again, and I was watching Batman. I'm like, this is funny. It's like, I'd actually get so serious when I was a little kid.
Yeah, I mean, we did. And now looking back, I mean, our parents thought it was funny, but looking back at it, we thought it was so real. I mean, we didn't know it was funny as it is.
I sell comics for a living, and these characters are still just so real and so important to everybody.
Yeah, they're the beginning, and that's why I think I wanted to come back out to remind people of that legacy. And there was a beginning, and they're the grandfathers of that beginning. And for me to be part of it, I mean, it's really been great, honestly.
Dad, you have a live one right there.
Huh?
A live one.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm interviewing.
We made it!
Hey, you just said you tuned me out. I just want to make sure you did it.
Right down, Penguin. Rattle the cages.
So, if you're willing, can you share any of your favorite memories about being on tour with Adam and Burt, or just any of your favorite memories you had being on tour?
Yeah, I mean, you know, all the cities we went into, and even now, you know, traveling as much as I do, you know, sometimes I forget, okay, where I'm going, I have to keep a pretty, and where was I when this happened? But, you know, that was such a long time ago, and I really didn't think I was going to come back out. I'm really glad that I did, and I thought it was one of my lifetime passes that I was just going to say, okay, I did this is fun. But then when I came back out, I had to remember a lot of things, and there's still a lot of things I don't remember, but I am writing my second books because things have come out since I first started the first one. But I think the very first time meeting Adam, I'll never forget that as long as I live. You know, met him at Dallas Airport. Burt and I had flown in to go to, I think it was Little Rock, Arkansas, and it was raining pretty bad. We couldn't get the flight out. So they had rented a limo, and I tell this story all the time because it was my very first time meeting him, and he was just standing there, and he was like a really good-looking man too, you know. And I'm just standing there looking at him, and he was like 6'2", 6'3", he's pretty tall. And so we get in this limo, and I sit in between them, and they have music piping in, and he's over there singing to the music, making his own, changing to his own words. You know, and laughing, because at that moment, a lot of people didn't know Adam's personality like they learned to know him through the years. And to get to see people, anyway, let me go back to that limo. So he was singing, and, you know, and then Burt was over there. Burt was like our business person. He was in his box. He's, you know, he was like our manager, to say, and Adam would just like have fun. You know, he'd enjoy it. And Burt was over there looking at the papers and getting this. And he'd say, Burt, put the papers down. Let's have fun. We've got this 5-hour trip in front of us. Let's just enjoy this, you know. And then Burt put it down. They were talking about stories between them, and I was just laughing. And I was like, God, if people can see me now in this situation, it'd be so much fun. And if I had these phones that we had, I've got thousands of pictures, you know, of it. But it was really fun just to be between them. And I'm sitting there at one point thinking, oh my gosh, I'm sitting between Batman and Robin, you know. So you go back in that little kid in your heart. But I think that was one of the best memories I've ever had, is sitting there with them and then meeting him for the first time. And, you know, we became really good friends. He was very missed, you know, in my life, and I know a lot of other people feel the same way. But going to different like places and cities, I mean, you know, we did a lot of fundraisers. There was not Comic-Cons. They were in people's basements and wherever they had them, mainly for men too, in the mid-'80s. And we were doing car shows. We did a lot of car shows, and with the Batmobile typically was there. Then we would do opening of malls, opening of stores, fundraisers. They wouldn't always have the three of us. I guess it depends on the budget. They would have sometime Adam and Burt, sometime Burt and I, and then sometime the three of us. So it was a lot of fun.
Did you drive the Batmobile?
I did not drive the Batmobile, but I rode in the Batmobile.
Okay.
She's not going to give any pointers and still get back to the pink one.
That's right. The pink one might try to
I see
steal my ideas.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would. That's the Batmobile.
So, if you're willing to share any funny or unexpected things that have happened.
Well, during that time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the oddest things that I remember happening was, and I put this in my book, we went to a city, and I think it was in Midwest somewhere. I can't even remember the name of the city. But we were all asleep. It was in the middle of the night, and I heard the really horrible noise. I mean, really horrible noise. I'm like, and it woke me like, what is that? And I'm sitting there, and it was horrible. And all of a sudden, you know, Adam's, you know, called like, hey, do you hear that? And then he made us all three meet outside, you know, in the hotel, you know, in the hallway to meet to see what's going on. And we're standing there, you know, in our pajamas, like, what is happening here? You know, what's going on? And we're all looking at each other, like, you know, and I'm saying, we're Batman and Batgirl and Robin. We got to figure this out, right? And I feel like we were being punked or something back there. Like, what is happening? And finally, you know, went on, and we were talking, and he went down to the, you know, it was a small hotel. He went down to there was nobody there, and there was a bell, and he's ringing. There's nobody there. So we go back up the room. So we decided just to go in our rooms and not pay attention to it. So the next day, the promoter that was having us picked us up, and he said, oh, you heard that? And we're like, how can you not hear that? What was it? The town was built around a slaughterhouse, like a slaughter place. The town, everybody in the town worked there, so they all knew what was happening but us, and they didn't tell us. So that's one of the most oddest situations I remember us being in.
Also, horror movie etiquette.
Isn't that horrible?
Never go investigate the noise.
No, so we were all standing there, and Robin, Burt,
Batman and Robin, they got this.
and they would make jokes. You know, Burt would say these little things, and so did Adam. And I'm sitting there and shaking my head. Stop! Let's don't do this. This is their livelihood. Let's don't. But they thought it was, you know, they kept on about it the whole day.
You guys never separated during that time, did you?
During that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went into the rooms.
Oh, you
and
never do that in a horror movie.
Never spoke
I know, right? We were Batman and Robin and Batgirl, so I figured we could figure that out. So if somebody came in our rooms,
But if it goes true story, then Batgirl would have saved Batman and Robin again.
that would be a great movie, though. That'd be great to put in the movie, a horror movie.
Yeah.
It really would be.
So do you have you ever had like a favorite city or an event that's always been just stuck out in your mind?
Do you know what your favorite event is? I don't even know why I said that.
I'm hoping.
Extremicon.
Extremicon, jeez.
Yay!
Come on
Well,
now.
during that time, you know, in the 70s and 80s.
Extremicon, you heard the lady.
All right, fine. Now, it's okay. It's over here now.
We were in Texas. I think it was Dallas, Texas. We were at an MS, multiple sclerosis event, and that was really neat. And I didn't know a lot about that disease at the time, but I got to meet a lot of people and learned about it. It was really great to be there. That was one of them. Another one is Burt and I went to Hawaii. We went to Oahu and Donho, and Burt were really good friends. And he said that, you know, Batgirl's in the house, you know, and she's with this guy that thinks he's a Robin, a Batman and Robin, you know. So he brought us up on stage. That was a lot of fun. So.
It made me think of that one episode where he got into his jams and was doing the surf contest with the Joker.
Oh yeah,
Closer to the
Batman.
mic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
Batman.
pretty funny.
Closer to the mic, Gary.
Yeah, that was
They
funny.
can't hear you. Closer to the mic, Gary.
Okay, we'll take it in mic.
Thank you. Quit mumbling. Enunciate. Enunciate.
Okay.
Thank you. Use your words.
You
All
guys
right.
sound like Adam and Bert over here, bantering the whole day.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks, just give each other constant grief.
They did do that. They were really, really close, and they bantered, you know, quite often, and did things like that too.
I don't think he was bantering. He hurt my feelings.
Oh.
So you touched on it a little bit, but you know, how did the fans, especially the young girls, you know, respond to seeing a female superhero?
Oh, they loved it, and that's what I loved about it, because I loved meeting them. I wanted them to feel as tall as I did. And as brave as I did when I saw Yvonne on TV that first time. I wanted them to feel the same way, and they did. They absolutely loved it, and the mothers did. It was really, really cool, and you know, and I just think it's great to be able to bring that being a girl into that trio like that, and to give them another dynamics, and they all really enjoyed it. You know, even all the little boys too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it made them realize that girls aren't just, you know, they can be superheroes too, and you know, and Batgirl could do anything and everything, and more than Batman can really. She can.
Okay, I gotta reveal,
She can.
reveal the truth here.
That's right.
Excluding Batgirl, Wonder Woman was my favorite, like my first crush ever. So
That's
that was,
good. I like Wonder Woman. I think she's great.
Yeah.
She's like one of the best.
Good
What'd you
thing
say?
he married Wonder Woman. Everybody give it up for Jessica.
Yeah.
Yay! That's right.
That's the secret. Everybody
That's right.
thinks Gary's in charge.
That's
That's
right.
not how it works. We know who's in charge. But looking back, what does Batgirl represent to you personally?
Well, I think, I mean, that's a good question, really. For me personally, I think that she shows in women's empowerment, she blazed a lot of trails to show that you can, you know, you can be yourself, and your superpower should be kindness. And to be kind, if you needed to use another superpower you have and show that you can be stern, you know, do that in a good way, you know, and just to know that you can be who you want to be, and then have your own superpowers in your mind to come out and, you know, and be what a lot of people don't see, but you have to use it at certain times. And one reason why I wanted to come back out too, because I wanted to show women that they can have their families, have their children, do what they want to do in their lives, and then they can reinvent themselves to what they really would like to do and their purpose. Their purpose is have a family if that's what they choose to do, but your passion is another situation. Then you can still go to that passion and still and do that and show that you can. And that's why I wanted to come back out to show that, that's what I did, and I'm really glad that I did, Yeah. But I think, and she's smart, Batgirl's smart. And one thing about the Killing Joke, so this is what happened. When I left for 37 years and I came back out, I did not study where Batgirl went because I knew if my mind and my heart was still with that, I couldn't be the mom that I wanted to be, to be a mom, do the things I wanted and needed to do with them instead of having, the Batgirl and DC overlook my life. I wanted to be what I needed to do then. So coming back out and to see the Killing Joke, how she became Oracle. I mean, I thought that was so clever, is that she could have a disability, and it shows how smart she was. I mean, she was the genius of the universe. To see how smart she was. And then it showed that she was the best team player in the universe. She had all her teams. She had Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Batman and Robin. She had Nightwing, and then she had, she was the leader of the Birds of Prey. And, just to show that the leader that she could be and the team. And this shows how smart she is, and the people that are in a wheelchair, they can use their other abilities to help them and help other people, even though they have the disability they had. And I think DC, it was clever for them to use that and use Batgirl to be able to do that with.
And still to this day in modern Batman, Batgirl is the linchpin. She helps everybody.
She does.
She sends them where they need to go. When they need help, they literally call Oracle, we need help.
Yes, yeah.
And they have taken her out of the wheelchair and put her back in
now she has legs again.
Yeah, they basically did the Dark Knight Returns to her. Where he got the mobile robo legs, and that's what she has.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have addressed it anymore in the comics.
And then with Cassie, Cassandra, Kane.
Yeah, they have Cassie and Stephanie.
And then, Stephanie. I think that she could show that she had her other helpers, her other team to help her to do what she needed to do. I just think that she's so she's empowering.
Yeah, she's such a fun character.
She is a fun character, and she's cute.
So, not to get super emotional, but do you still... Hi, buddy.
Rachel.
Oh, gosh. Do you still stay in touch with Adam West and Burt Ward's families or any other members of the cast?
Well, a lot of them have gone.
Yeah.
So Burt, we call him our K9 Crusader. We don't see him too often. He's in Riverside, Riverside, California, and he has a ranch that he adopts out large dogs, and he has a dog food company, Gentle Giants, and a cat food company. So he and his wife Tracy, they stay pretty much at home, and that's what they do full time now. So I would love to do another Comic-Con with them one day. That would be really cool, but that's not been in the works talking at this point. And Adam, no, I've not seen his family, unfortunately, because they were out there, and when I have been there, I've not been able to be able to see them. But Bert's granddaughter has come to North Carolina to see me 4 times. And her mother was very, very close with. She was only 9 years younger than me when I met her. And so I remained close with her for many years. So yeah, we do try to keep the Bat family. And yeah.
That's what the Bat family's for.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Even when it breaks, it still comes back together.
Yep.
They do that a lot.
Even though not purposely, usually they get broken by the Joker or Bane.
Or some other rogue gallery.
Yeah. Or not the Penguin though.
Not the Penguin.
Penguin's the worst one.
Terrible.
He is.
In more than one way.
That wasn't even mean to Gary on that one. He really doesn't do much to the Bat family.
Yeah, he's an annoyance.
Hey, I'll send the ducks after you.
So how David, you said you just came back. So how have you seen the convention space change? How's it changed from then to now?
Oh, it's like almost 100% change. Because, like I said, there were no cosplayers. Even the children, they weren't wearing suits. And now there's all the cosplayers that's out. And I think it's just great. I love it. I think if our world was like the comic world, we'd be in a happy, happy place. I've done, this is like my 89th in the last 4.5 years. 80, yeah, and I've not seen any altercations or anything bad at all. But back then it wasn't either. Back then, though, we had lines all around it was only 10 years after the show had ended, and the 1977 Batman Adventures animated show was on, and so people knew that. And there we had so many lines, and we would sit there for hours, and and just to see the differences in that. And we were at car shows versus Comic Cons, to be around the comic flair. That's a lot of fun. You feel like you're more at home than the car shows, even though we had the Batmobile there most of the time. It wasn't. It's like in comics back then, it was more nerdy. I mean, people thought the people that were into comics were kind of nerds. We were nerds, right?
We are nerds.
We were. And
I've met us.
We just claim it now.
Yeah. And people that came to see us, it wasn't that they were truly into comics. They just loved that show, and they wanted to see superheroes, and that's the difference too. It's different, and that's what Burt said, because I was gone like for 37 years. And you wouldn't let anybody talk about it. You didn't talk about the life, and then you came out. Now you're everywhere, and I said, he said you came out of that bat cave with a vengeance. I said, well, that's the mystery of Batgirl.
Batgirl returns.
So we talked about Batgirl, like the comics, and how she's changed over time. So if you could have your Batgirl team up with any other DC hero from the 70s, 80s, or even today, who would it be?
Oh, wow, that's
All
a
the
good
Batgirls.
question.
The Penguin is right next to it.
All the Batgirls.
I like what you're saying. I think it would be fun. I mean, the Birds of Prey has been out there in the movie. Well, where's Batgirl? They should have Barbara Gordon on there with them. I would love to see that happen. And I think it would be great to have a movie. I mean, it's been in the comics with Cassandra Cain, with Stephanie Brown, as her girls. I just think that would be really neat. Yeah, that's what I would say.
We did, I think, the beginning of Rebirth. They actually did a Batgirls comic, and a lot of it was crime fighting, but a lot of it was really cool, like just home life with all three of them. Where they were kind of like almost like sorority girls.
Yeah.
Where Barbara's just taking care of them and making sure, like mother hen to the baby bats.
See, I would love that, and not just in the comics, but in real, like in a movie. I think that would be really
cool.
neat. I do think that would be good.
James Gunn's doing a lot of cool stuff with the new DC universe, so.
I would love to see that.
Let's hope.
And the Birds of Prey, with her being the leader, like she is with them, they left her out with that, which is odd.
Yeah, that movie was all kinds of odd.
Yeah, it was.
It's hit or miss.
But with James Gunn, he can make it where it's not all kinds of odd, I think.
Yeah.
I think those two would be pretty cool.
So at the time, did you see yourself as a trailblazer, or are you just kind of realizing that now in the con space?
Well, in my life, I've always been like that. I mean, be 20 years old and you meet Burt Ward, and 3 months later you move from a small town in North Carolina to LA and travel around with superheroes. That in itself is like, wow, I actually did that. I wasn't afraid or fearful, and my parents' head was swimming, but they couldn't say anything. She's over 18, what can we do? Nothing. So, and they knew that. If they tried to say no, I was going anyway. So my mom gave me her blessing and said, okay, well, keep in touch with me and I'll come out there and see you, and she did. But then now, with my children, I was always, in the Girl Scouts and whatever I could help with them. And my friends, I was always that person if they, I'd always be there to listen to what they, just be a friend, right? And then to come back out, and what I do now is I travel a lot by myself, and I just go. All these places, and get picked up by all these people and get to meet, and I just absolutely love it. And my two sisters are like, how do you do it? They're like, aren't you afraid? I'm like, why? I said, how do you not do it?
You did it throughout your 20s and your formative years as an adult, so it's kind of just common practice.
Yeah, and I was that child of my mom, so I was the one that got hurt the most. Broke my shoulder bone, you know, my clavicle, and then all kinds of things. I mean, I've got stitches here and everything. And, you know, so I was always that fearless child, you know, and then I grew up to be like, well, okay, I'm Batgirl, that's why, you know. So then, and then to have my life the way it's lived, I mean, I feel like I lived in the character still in my mind. I do, in my life.
So what was the worst thing you did when you were a kid to injure yourself?
I'm sorry?
What was the worst thing you did when you were a kid to injure yourself?
The worst thing I did was I was playing in the woods and climbing trees, and when I stepped down, there was a wood piece of wood there, and I had on flip-flops, not even tennis shoes, and I stepped on a pretty nasty nail and had to get taken to get a tetanus shot and all that. And then I was riding a swing. Of course, Barbara, a Batgirl, rides swings. I was on a swing set and tried to jump off, and that's how I broke my shoulder, collarbone right here. And, you know, just... you know, running from my dog that we had and got scratched on my foot, had to go to the hospital, get stitches. I mean, I just was one of those kids that, yeah, I was a little kind of a tomboy. And I rode horses all my life. I've been thrown off horses a few times, got back up, brushed them off, let's keep going, you know, just.
Yeah.
A nail to the foot's not fun. I grew up in a salvage yard.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, several. Lots of tetanus shots on my
Oh,
life.
yeah. I mean, yeah. So, I mean.
Good job, Dad.
And it was fun. I mean, I know I was that
You're lucky he's
kid, but
awake.
you know, it was fun. Yeah.
He's not paying attention at all.
No.
Let's see.
I got a question. What did your mom do when she seen you in the Batgirl uniform first time
Oh,
around?
there you go. That's a good
Oh,
one.
that's a good one. She really loved it. She was like, I should have known. I should have known, because she knew how much I loved watching Yvonne as Batgirl. She said, I should have known that could happen. And she could see it, but she just stared at me and looked at me like, you know, but she loved it. Honestly, she
That's
did.
good. It's nice to have supportive parents.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And the thing she told me, she said, I can't keep you from going because if you're coming here with me, you've already made your mind up. I know you. She said, but I can say, don't forget who you are and where you came from. And you're always welcome back home. And with that blessing to say that, I'm like, well, if it doesn't work, I can always go back home, you know. And that's how I felt. I wasn't afraid. I just did it. And then 7 years later, I felt like it was time to change again my life. And I went back home to be a mom, you know, to raise two. It was time in my life. I was doing modeling. I had acting lessons, voice lessons, because I had the Southern accent. And then, you know, and I started feeling like who I was changing. And did I really want to change like that, even though I made that decision? It's like you don't know until you know, right? And then I decided to go home for a while and to move home. And I'm really glad that I did, because I really wanted to be a mom. I didn't want to be a mom and raise them in California at the time, or leave them at home, or travel on the road with them. So I hung up my cape and never really looked back until 2015 when Yvonne passed away. I found out, and I wasn't even on social medias at all until then. I found out, then went out to California after 35 years and saw people, and 4 times that year, 2016, and then 17, it was the 50th anniversary of Batgirl, and I decided to write a book, and it was all impeccable timing because I had no idea this was going to happen, and you know, it was laying in my lap to write the book, and I did. It took me 2.5 years. I put it down 4 times, one of those being when Adam passed. And then I decided to finish it because that's who I am. I don't just do something and not finish it. I said, well, if nobody buys it, or if I just give them away, at least I've done what I feel like my passion and what my purpose is to do. And so I finished it, and I called Jim Lee's office and spoke to Jim Lee's secretary about an hour on the phone. It was really nice, and they accepted me back, and they asked me what I wanted them to do, and I'm sitting there on the phone. They want me to tell them what I want them to do, okay? Instead of, I'm like, okay. So they called me 3 days later, and they approved it. It took about 3 months to get the contract. They sent the contract, and I signed it. They sent it back, and Jim Lee signed my contract. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So I've got that in a shadow box for my first book, and then it said "Welcome Home" on it. So, you know,
That's really
pretty neat. That's pretty neat that accepted me back, and it was It was awesome.
What is the name of your book?
Bat Driven West. I typically have those at the Comic Cons, but I've been doing a lot of Comic Cons, so my book company, I couldn't get them back and get them here in time. But it's called Bat Driven West. Now I'm writing my second book.
Which companies carry it?
Amazon and Blurb, and also I sell them myself on Instagram or Facebook, and then of course the Comic Cons are my biggest sellers.
Might check to see because I'm a book retailer
Bat Driven West. Oh,
so
yeah.
I might see if Penguin Random House has it.
They might.
Okay.
They might.
Of course, because the big one has everything.
Yeah.
You have goofy umbrellas. Okay.
Be careful. Be careful. I've seen what that umbrella can do.
I know he'll poke somebody with it. Okay. What has been the most rewarding part of your career as Batgirl?
The fans. To be accepted by them again, because when I first decided, I was like, well, I'll write the book. What if nobody? What if people think, well, who are you? Because I was gone so long, and we didn't have cameras and things like that we had, we have now. I just thought, well, and everything I could possibly find on the internet and things I had, I put in the book. And now people are finding me and they're sending me pictures of themselves with them. So I'll put those in the second book. I thought, what if people say, well, you're not Yvonne, who are you? And that has happened. I've explained it, I've educated, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right, then. So I was nervous about that, but it's been wonderful. They've really accepted me back and realized there was a Bronze Age Batgirl. There's a missing link in the history of Batman that now I'm letting people know about. That there was actually a second Batgirl to wear the mantle. So it's the golden years, then silver years is what Yvonne was, and the bronze years me, and now it's the modern age, New 52, which was supposed to be Leslie Grace. But we'll see what happens with another Batgirl movie.
Yeah.
So that's in the lineage of the comics, not versus the TV or the movies.
So I'm sure it's in your book, and again, if it's in your book, and we definitely want people to read your book, are there any misconceptions that people have about that era that you kind of want to set the record straight for?
Like I said, I didn't really keep up a lot when, because we didn't really have computers and stuff like that, those years. But I didn't keep up a lot. But then I read a lot about things when I came back, and I'm like, no, I don't remember that happening. I don't know if that really happened. If it did, it was before me, after me, because I have no idea about that situation. All the women and all the girls and this and that. I'm like, nah, I don't know about all that. But so I don't know. I mean, Burt wrote a book, and it says things in there about it. And I mean, I can see it. I mean, they were popular, and girls. I can absolutely see it. The good-looking guys. But I mean, I just don't know how much of that. And I know those 7 years I was with them, it did not happen. So unless after we left each other, I mean, I didn't see it happen. But Adam was funny. He was fun to travel with. Burt was really business, and he would crack up, and Adam could make him laugh so hard, and his laugh was so infectious. The way Burt would do, he would be crying, but we would sit at the table. We'd do these little skits, and they were really funny. I mean, looking back at those things, I wish I could find some videos of it. But we'd sit at the table, and Adam and Burt and myself, and he'd always send notes down to Batgirl. It might not be anything on there, just a little scribble. But what he did is he wanted them to wonder, what's going on? What is Batman saying to Batgirl? And then I would scribble and say, and Burt, as Robin, would be like, he'd do stuff like that. And Adam would talk to he would talk to everybody like they were the first person standing in line. And Burt would get the line, he's like, a Batgirl, always blame Batgirl. Batgirl wants to meet the fans too, Batman. Send the fans on down to Batgirl. Just to keep the lines moving. So it was a lot of fun. And it's funny because we'd always have Playboy bunnies travel with us a lot of times. And I think it's because we had the same manager, truly, is what I'm thinking. Because it was during that era of Playboy. And Adam loved it that our lines were always longer than theirs. You know, look down there. He said, we've got longer lines than they've got. And he would pick on them, saying, we have longer lines than you girls. But they were always so nice. They really were, the ones that I met. It was, usually 2 or 3 maybe.
Is there any advice that you would give to someone who is like in the process, or like I guess maybe since DC is starting to reboot, by stepping into these iconic roles, do you have any advice for them?
By the right Superman movie.
Really good.
Really good.
Yes.
Okay.
And they've announced the
Do you
sequel.
watch it?
What?
Superman movie?
Oh, yes, loved it. I loved it.
You thought it was true to story, didn't you?
I did pretty much.
Yeah.
I did. I felt like they did a good job with it.
I have a theory.
Oh, what's your theory?
The game.
The squirrel is chipped from Green Lanterns.
Wow. I
That's
never
just my
thought that.
theory. Maybe
That's-
completely wrong, but
That's
my
pretty
theory.
cool. That's pretty cool.
So if it happens, I thought of it first.
That's right. You thought of it. That makes sense. I didn't even think about that.
I think the Penguin stole the idea.
From a comic book.
From a comic cover. But and also when I came back out, I realized some things too, like looking back on that. So in the golden years, it was Betty Kane, and Bill Finger thought of Batgirl in the golden years, and it was Bat and then Dash Girl, but and she was in the red and the yellow. I don't know if you remember, but her name was Betty Kane, but her real name was Mary Elizabeth Kane, and my grandmother's name was Mary Elizabeth, of course, Whitfield, and then my dad's mother was Mary Elizabeth, and my mother's mother was Betty. So to have both my grandmothers
That's really cool.
and be that, I thought that was kind of interesting. And then when I moved back home to have family, I had my firstborn in 1990, September 19th, 1990, which was Adam West's birthday. She was born 9 days early. So even that, he called me at the hospital and he congratulated me. And to me, that was like a confirmation that I made the right decision to do what I did. And so that kind of little stuff. And then I've noticed other things in my life that happened. And then moving forward to see, I just think it was meant to be for me to go out there and do this, come back. And because if I did become an actress, big star, I probably wouldn't be here now, or I'd be out as Karen Whitfield, not as Batgirl, because I'm really the only one out there. Like Alicia, she comes out, but she's representing herself as she's an actress, and so I'm really the only one in the comics that has come out like I'm doing, and just to come out and do it again and be a part of the legacy to remind everybody about them, I think it's really cool because people forget about it, or the younger crowd doesn't know or remember, so it's neat to be able to introduce that again.
Do you still get recognized?
Well, no, not really.
Not
I mean,
really.
no, I mean, like
Sorry,
in my hometown, because I've only been out 4 years.
Yeah.
I really haven't been on the TV. I've been meeting people like this, which is kind of neat because in my hometown I can go out and be myself and not to wear the makeup,
Not
just
have
to
to worry
wear
about it,
and
no.
do and not. I mean, one day that might happen, but right now it hasn't happened.
So truly, you have a secret identity.
I have a secret identity, truly. And I just moved in this neighborhood, and one of the neighborhood people that I met, she said, "Oh, you get the magazine where we introduce people." She said, "I would love to tell your story," because she has seen me travel, and she has seen me leaving and my clothes that I wear when I travel and stuff, and she's like, "You travel a lot. Like, do you do that for work?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and I don't normally just come out and say it, "Yeah, I do." She said, "What do you do?" And I'm looking at her like, how do I say this?
How do I answer this question?
How do I answer? And she's looking at me like, why is she looking like? And I'll say, well, I have a little story that's kind of, it's a story. She said, well, what is that? I told her. She looks at me like, what? And I'm like, I know. I traveled with Adam West and Burt Wars, Batgirl. She said, you mean you're Batgirl? I said, yeah. She says, really? I said, and that's what I mean. It's like you don't really just come out and say it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she said, well, this one she asked me about the magazine in our neighborhood. She said, can I introduce you and just say you've moved in our neighborhood? I'm like, no. because I don't want people to know, because then I'll have maybe people stand out the door or follow me down the road when I'm trying to walk, or or stalkers. Stalkers find out where I live. It'll be out there. So I asked her no. Please.
3 weird guys will ask you on a podcast.
Yeah, especially the ones in the yellow.
Where is this house of yours? I mean, that's what I mean. So it was an honor for her to ask me, but I'm like, please, I just know. Let's don't do that. And I'm just somebody living here. Yeah.
So, do you have any memorable fan stories, like someone like in recent years, has maybe come up and is like just talk like I know you talked about the ones giving you photos, like did anyone share stories that they've had with you, or just fond memories of you, any good fan stories?
That they've met me.
That you've heard from somebody come talk and say, hey, I met you when I was 10 years old.
Yes, and he says, you're that Batgirl. I've always wondered who that was. And I knew it wasn't that girl that was in the show, but there was somebody I've always wondered. And he said, I have a picture with you, and he's like in his mid-50s, I think. I have a picture with you when I was like 8 years old, 7 years, and I'd love to have you sign it. And I said, I'd love to send it to me to this address. I'll sign it and I'll keep a copy. And then things have happened like that since then on internet, that you've reached out, which is really neat to have that. Because I didn't have really pictures of us. We didn't. When you're at that age, you don't even know how. You never knew that phenomenon was going to be like it was when I was 20 with us traveling. We had no idea that we'd even have these. We didn't even have answering machines at home. We had landlines. So we never knew that was going to happen, and to come out like it is, it's just amazing. The differences.
Yeah.
For those of us who don't know what a landline is, it's attached to the wall.
Yeah, attached to the wall, that's right.
I know what a landline is, Gary. I'm young, but not that young.
My sisters would call me, collect out there in California, just to think about that, right? It's just kind of how different life is, compared to then. And I'm glad to see it like this. I really am. The technology that we have, I just wish we had all that back then.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd have thousands and thousands of pictures, so. But I'm slowly but surely finding them.
Yeah. Especially like in a time where, it was, for me growing up, getting to see cartoons of superheroes besides, ones that I love.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. And has been since I was a child.
Well, right now mine's
DC is Superman. I'm sorry, I love Superman.
I know for a fact Gary says Wolverine, so don't want to lie to anybody.
Oh, I'm fully aware.
I said right now mine is Batgirl.
I was going to say, and I moved up from Wonder Woman.
I was going to out it.
He likes the W's. Wonder Woman, Wolverine.
But just the years ago where nobody thought comic book characters were ever going to grace, the big screen. We got them on the silver screen.
Yeah.
In tights, but now we're getting like full blown crossover that's just ridiculous. So.
It's so huge, and I would have journaled. I wish I journaled back then. And I would have written, like you were saying, the different cities. I would have written things down, like where we went and what we this and that, and I would have done that if I thought, more about it, and we'd go to these small towns and we'd walk in to the restaurants. Everybody knew everybody, and we walk in, with the promoter, and they might have known we were coming or they might not have. We walk in and we clearly did not look like, we weren't dressed like Batman and Robin, but just what we clearly did not belong to the client town, and they would all look, and we'd be sitting there eating, and Adam, he loved it. He was such a ham, and they'd come up and talk to us, the waitresses, and people would be staring at us, and and I was somewhat shy back then. People don't see that as me being shy, but I really kind of was, and they'd come up and they'd want to talk to us, and we're still eating, and they'd come up before they leave, and can I get your autographs, and and he never said no. He was so cool, and he loved it. It's like, oh, we've got time, and we even kept restaurants open where people would want to sit down and talk to us, the people that owned it, or and so we would it was just Adam, and I think he taught me a lot about meeting people and engaging with people and not be afraid and know that, hey, we're just people, it's just the thing. I mean, if we get missed at the airport, you know what, we'll get there. I never saw him angry, not one time. He was just a really, really cool person, and it was a great mentor to me, watching him and seeing how he engaged with people. And he just absolutely loved it. I mean, everywhere we went, he if they didn't do that, it was a surprise, or maybe they felt like they shouldn't just come up, but most people did, And Burt was more business. I've learned a lot of my business, of my personalities. He was more business. He taught me how to do things and about that. I mean, it was really, and they were so opposite, but they were the best of friends.
I imagine the way you talked about Adam, he had a blast on Family Guy.
Oh, gosh.
Just being the mayor, just being silly every time he popped on screen, just saying the most off-the-wall stuff.
Oh, and his voice. I mean, everybody recognized, even if we walked in and they didn't know the voices, when you heard Adam and Burt talk, I mean, clearly.
That's just Adam West.
Yeah, look,
I know that voice. Wait.
That's the voice.
That's the mayor.
Yeah. It was really, it was really surreal. I wish I could, I had, if you could go back, I would have journaled or taken more pictures, or I wish we had videos. I mean, it's just, but I do have it in my heart and in my mind, and that's great.
That's good.
Which I think,
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, which I think goes to the next one. So how has your connection to Batgirl continued to influence your life?
Well,
Pretty sure she's answered that.
I know.
Jeez, come on.
Sorry, we
Talk
don't
about
have
me
to.
repeating myself, and you're doing the same thing. Jeez.
Good. I try to be. I try to be good. I try to be kind. I try to help and people. I have so many secrets in this person that it will go to my grave, because people come to me to talk. You have to have somebody, and I would never tell. You just want to be a friend to people. And my kids. I mean, I just love people too. I just love being around people, and being a part of just life. What can I do? How can I help? What's next?
Yeah. She answered differently.
It was a little different,
It was
wasn't
a
it?
little
Different. That's because she's
Yeah.
a professional. Doesn't
Yeah, she had to save you.
I didn't ask the same question over and again. It's worded differently. It's,
No, ask the audience if they have any questions.
And I don't even have sheets. I'm like, where's my sheet here? This is off the cuff.
Right.
Well, there's one more that I'm sure they might be interested in. Do you have any upcoming appearances or conventions or projects that you can share with us?
Well, I'm writing my second book, and I was hoping it's going to be.
I don't care. Ask it again.
I hope it's going to
There's
be.
new people in the audience. They weren't here. I'm being respectful.
So I'm hoping it's done. I mean, it would be done. It'd be cool if it's done by the end of next year, because it's the 60th anniversary of Batman next year. It'd be cool to have it completed by then. But even though if I complete, it depends on if DC, does their part in time. If not, the Batman Part 2 comes out in 2027. So that'd be cool if it's not that next year, the year after. But so that, and kind of writing my own comic about paralleling my book. My own comic as my book is.
That's really cool.
That a character met Robin and became a superhero. That'd be kind of cool,
Yeah. I would definitely read it.
Yeah, and then
Now who's sucking up?
that would be.
Hey, I've been asking this
and
the whole
actually, I would love to have a movie of that. That actually too would be really neat, of how that would happen.
Who would you get to play you?
She's in the. People have asked me that. She's in the middle of, this huge city from this small town, country girl. This huge city traveling with superheroes, and so that'd be kind of cool. And she's really Batgirl in her heart and life, and they found her. They found her. And, and she didn't even know herself that she was. And then it just came out and you realized it. I think that'd be kind of a cool movie. Who would I get to play me? I have a couple in mind. I'm not quite sure yet.
That's fair.
Just have a couple in mind.
Whoever they get to play Batgirl in the new DCU, just get her to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's a good idea.
There you go. Or grab Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah, that would be. So, I don't know about that, but yeah, she had her time. We'll have our time.
It's your time again.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be somebody else's time playing me.
Yeah.
As maybe whoever they choose as. I mean, Leslie
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if she'll do. I don't know if she'll do it again.
I hope they
don't
really
know.
like. I know that Batgirl movie is done, and I hope they
yeah.
just. I know I've heard
Yeah.
different conflicting reports on the quality of it. It's a done movie. Just let me watch it.
Oh no, I know they won't. They can't.
Yeah.
You know. But I think she would have. She was going to be a great Batgirl. I was excited for her, and I really would love to see her move forward in that. And the next one, I think it would be great, and didn't upset her that happened. But you know, I don't know. And there's so many good actresses. You know, she'd have to be young too. You know, Batgirl was like 20, 21, so she'd have to be young probably. I don't know. I think I'm working on that and the second book. So I have, and I'm doing a photo album book. Like some people don't want to read; they just want to see pictures. So I'm kind of doing like a scrapbook, you know,
cool.
that I can sell too. So you know, so I've got irons in the works. But in the meantime, I want to keep doing the Comic-Cons because this helps me to get to know my fans, help me to meet people, and you know, I just love it. And what am I doing next? I have every weekend in October full with the Comic-Cons, half of November right now, and half of December. So I'm working on next year. So so next weekend I'm going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina, and with the Hulk and Sergeant Slider, and it's going to be
That's cool.
Lou Ferrigno with
I've heard
and
legends
some.
that Sergeant Slaughter's a lot of fun.
Oh, he is a lot of fun. He is so fun, and he and Adam would gotten along really well. But and then the next week after that, I'm in the 11th at Boone, North Carolina, Western North Carolina. We had that big hurricane, so we're getting back that straight and getting people to come out and have fun. And after that, I'm going to be in my first horror. First horror is called R&R Horror Fest in Paris, Texas.
Okay, man, you're just everywhere.
Yeah, and then and that's on the 19th of October. So on the 18th is a 20th anniversary museum that's in Oklahoma City, like an hour or so away. I can't remember the city there, but yeah, that's going to be a museum that we're trying to incorporate in that same area to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. If you got to do a cameo in a movie, would you?
Oh, absolutely. I would
DC
do.
is known for that.
Oh, I would do a
Yeah.
cameo. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if they don't ask me, but I would love to do a cameo. And I would even love to do a part like Barbara Gordon had a mother. I mean, you know, I think that would be kind of cool. You
Yeah, I
know?
do too.
Yeah, I think that would be
Hear that,
neat,
James
something
Gunn?
like
If
that.
you're one of our 7 listeners.
That would be neat.
Well, you know, you stole my chip idea for the next movie. The chip idea.
Oh, the chip idea, yeah.
Chip.
And if I did a movie with my book, I would love to play my mother. You know, that Batgirl, you know, Karen came to, you know, whoever came to, you know, I'd love to play my mother. So, yeah.
I got one that's not on here too. Have you ever put back on the costume in the last 4 years?
Well, the question was asked me too when I called you on Lisa, do you have the costume? I said, yes, I do have the costume. So that costume, I was not even 100 pounds, is in a case, protected. But the cowl I take with me, and I have worn that. So I had another costume made because I'm clearly not 100 pounds right now. So I had another made that I do wear, and I do still suit up at some cons. And if you follow me on Instagram, Live Like Batgirl, you'll see those videos and pictures. And then on Facebook as Karen Whitfield Batgirl.
Okay. I have tagged her in so many posts. You should have been following her by now.
I'm not on Instagram that much.
Your posts are also sporadic and random. Sometimes we miss them.
I also tag you in posts.
I know, and I also miss them.
But I also wait till I meet people and learn to see if they're cool before I follow.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm cool.
Okay.
I'm
See, and
cool.
she's been very cool
I'm
this
the
whole
coolest of the cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do wear the suit, and I love the suit. So it does. And the second one fits just like the first one. I mean, other than the precise of it, and it looks. I mean, nobody would know it's not the same. It looks identical pretty much.
That's awesome.
So the cowl, though, I have worn it with that suit, and then also I think it's Williams Studio. They make the Batman suits and the Robin suits. His wife had made me another cowl too, to be a little bit more, because the way they made it in 1970
Probably doesn't breathe that well.
compared to the way they make them
Yeah.
now, it's a huge difference. So, but the other one to me is You know, it's the original, and I just love it.
That's yours.
It's mine.
That's yours.
Yeah, yeah. The first
So,
one.
anybody in the audience, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Karen? Yes.
Yay!
You might have to be loud, and I'll repeat it, but Gary's going to feedback. You can't do that.
Well, fine.
Okay, so we were traveling around doing shows. How many were you doing a month?
How many were we doing a month? So,
Yeah, how many shows were you doing a month?
I mean, sometime we would travel like maybe once a month, sometime twice a month. We never went every weekend like I've done recently. But we would, you know, once or twice a month we would usually go out. Yeah. Yeah,
One
you
question per customer.
No,
Jeez,
you can
do
ask
the second
another
one.
question.
So, when you decided to do this, you're 20 years old, you must have had some idea in your head of what you thought this was going to be like around the world. What was the reality like versus what you expected?
It was actually better. Because, you know, when I never really traveled. I only went to Myrtle Beach with my family, so I didn't know what it was going to be like packing up and going from city to city. And, you know, they pick you up and they take you here, and then catching airplanes and this and that. Who I am as a person, I don't worry about things. What if this or what if that? What if I don't? I never even thought about it. But in my mind, it's like, okay, I'm going to be traveling with them. This is going to be fun, you know. But the little things that happen, you don't know, you don't have any idea. But you just look at it as, okay, that's just part of it. You know, just like now I do. That's just part of it. And I'm just going to go. And if they're good, I'm with them, everything's going to be good. And it was actually better because it wasn't just the traveling, you know, the getting on the plane and packing up. I was with them, and they made it so much fun. It was so fun to see the reactions of people with us being there and just seeing how excited they were, because it wasn't like it is now, you know. We were the only ones out there doing it at the time, and it was just fun. So it was better than what I had in my mind of it being, but yet it was, you know, it was easy. I mean, I've always been a go-getter. I've always just, let's do this. Let's don't even think about it. Let's get it done. Let's have fun with it. You know, if it's not fun, then we just won't do that again. If we get hurt, guess what? You're on that horse. You fall down. You get back up. You brush it off and keep on going. You know, that's always been who I've always been. So that's a good question. Thank you. Is that it?
Do we have any more questions?
Did I answer
the two young ladies in the front
right?
row.
Any questions from Eddie?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Who did you find more attractive, Burt or Adam?
Ooh, good question.
He's not going to ask me that. Did he just ask me that?
Yeah, he just
You
asked
can
you
just
for
ignore.
Burt
You can just
or
ignore
Eddie.
Eddie. The rest of us do.
Yeah.
We love you, Eddie.
Except for when he shoots us with the guns in the middle of the game.
That's the question. I thought they were both attractive in their own ways.
That's not the answer.
And that's why we ignore Eddie.
That's that girl's answer, and that's what I'm going with.
Now, it depends on which comic you read. One is Bruce Wayne, and one is Robin.
You're saying Bruce Wayne's Batman is the Penguin, no Batman's identity?
Yes. I've known it for years.
Gary,
Justice.
who did you think was more attractive?
There you go. Yeah, Gary, you answered.
I just said Batgirl, I mean, alright, so I just said that.
That wasn't the question, Gary. The question was Adam or Burt.
Andrew, start the wrap up before we get
You know
canceled.
the fun.
Well, are you going to talk, Gary? Because I don't want to interrupt you. I'll let you say something.
It depends, you know, when Robin did wears,
Oh, gosh.
bat pants, we had the legs showing.
Moving on. But you know, the funny thing about that is I've had more girls tell me they thought that Robin was the cutest one ever. I've had more girls the last 4 years traveling have told me they liked Robin the best because they thought he was so cute and this and that. I've had that, so.
But then you have the Batman doing the bat dance, and who can say no to that?
Oh yeah, and the Batman the men have always liked the Batman better. The men have, it seems like. So.
All right. Well, Karen, we'd like to thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for
It's been
asking.
an absolute honor to talk to you about your time as Batgirl, your experiences touring with Adam and Burt, and the legacy that you've carried forward as the DC's Bronze Age Batgirl. Hearing your stories reminds us all of why these characters matter so much. They inspire us, they connect us, and they stick with us for generations. And so to our listeners, if you would like to meet Karen at a convention, signing, or special appearance, please make sure that you follow her at...
Instagram is Live Like Batgirl, and Facebook is Karen Whitfield Batgirl. And if anybody wants me at their shows or at their comic stores, please contact me. I love coming and meeting the people in the area.
Absolutely. So, and on behalf of myself, Gary, and Matt, thanks for tuning in to the Midmo Nerd Show. So, same nerd time, same nerd channel.